Hey everybody, I'm Curtis.
And I'm Hannah.
And this is Love at First Fright.
It's the most spookiest time of the year.
Ding dong, ding dong.
There are witches that are flying and movies that we're watching that cause us some fear.
Stuck the
Fucking
landing.
nailed it. It's the most...
It looked like you started to do the whip and nay nay.
Yeah, that's my go-to.
Looked like you started to whip it there for a second.
Now watch me witch and watch me... Fuck, can't think of something funny for
You got the one in. That's
Halloween.
fine. That's fine. Anyway, it's spooky season, y'all.
It's October.
It's the month that we're all about.
I come alive. This is when my reverse seasonal depression ends,
Mm-hmm.
and it just goes into my normal year-round depression.
Depression light.
Yeah. Yep. The next 6 to 8 weeks, I get some good times in there.
Yeah.
And then it's business as usual, baby.
No, I'm glad fall is I think aesthetically, fall is my favorite time of year.
Oh, yeah.
My favorite time of year is the winter because I really like cold.
Yeah.
I just want to be cold.
And we live in Georgia, so
Yeah.
that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. But I am really enjoying the leaves changing colors, some of them being crunchy on the ground.
Oh yeah, good crunchy leaf.
We've gotten a couple of days so far where it has been cool enough that I'm I could almost break out the flannel.
Ooh.
But
little light sweater.
But Georgia is also evil.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool enough in the morning and then by noon
It's 80 degrees.
it's 80 degrees again.
Yeah.
So
and you're really regretting that sweater and
Yeah.
those tights and the boots that you put on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So whatever. It's gonna be a little bit longer before we get into the actual cool weather
Right.
that I really want. But the mornings and evenings are perfect
Elite.
right now.
Yeah.
They're so good.
Crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've been up to some stuff
Yeah.
lately. Obviously watching movies like we normally do. We actually watched a trilogy of movies recently. we went back and we watched.
You started to say this and I was like, I don't remember watching a trilogy of movies.
But now you do. Now you remember. Maybe one of the greatest trilogies of all time.
You could say that, and in fact, many have.
Yeah. We watched Night at the Museum,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's two sequels.
Right.
Night at the Museum, Battle for the Smithsonian,
then
and Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb.
Secret
I
of the
got
Tomb.
them locked in. I
Nailed
knew what
it.
they were.
I had no idea what the third one was
Yeah.
called. I was like, Night at the Museum.
Yeah.
We're British in it.
Yeah,
or,
it's pretty close.
Something like that.
Yeah. The sequels are both just kind of ham-fisted ways to get the magic to other museums and what that kind of
Right.
looks like. They hold up well enough that all three of them do the same bit in them, and it involves Owen Wilson and Steve Coogan's character. They're the Roman soldier
guy.
and the little cowboy in the movies, if you haven't seen, which if you haven't, you're depriving yourself of cinema.
Yeah, some of the best.
Yeah. But there's these little tiny, figurines that would be in a diorama or whatever. Anyway, the scene in every one of them revolves around them going through some a wind tunnel or some great force or something, and they're
Right.
screaming and there's deafening wind happening, and then it cuts
Zooms out.
and you can't hear
Just a normal
anything.
breeze.
And then it cuts back in and they're barely holding on. All three of the movies do this bit. It made me laugh out loud every single time.
Yeah. All three of the movies have an extended sequence where Ben Stiller and Crystal the monkey slap each other a few times. Also, were they in love at the end?
I don't know. The third one gets weird.
I feel like the implication at the end was that maybe Ben Stiller,
Ben Stiller loved that monkey.
he loved that monkey, and the monkey was kind of the one that got away.
Yeah. Which is wild because of the second movie's love interest, which also weird way to end that whole thing.
Yeah.
With Amy Adams playing
Amelia Earhart.
Amelia Earhart. It's such a weird. If you haven't seen it, this is. In the second one, when he goes to the Smithsonian, he meets up with Amelia Earhart, played by Amy Adams, and they go through this whole adventure through the whole thing.
And she talks like this.
Yeah.
See?
And she just like kind of makes up like phrases the whole time.
Yeah.
Which it's charming and funny and cute or whatever. But by the end of the movie, they got to fly back to the museum in New York before dawn happens, and she's able to fly a plane because of the magic of the tablet.
Correct.
And everything. So they get back to New York, and they share this like passionate kiss and everything, and there's clearly like some romantic interest in there for like both of them, although she's now realized that she's like not real and wax. A lot of existential stuff comes up by the end of this, but then she decides she's gonna get back in the plane and fly, I guess, back to the Smithsonian.
But the sun is raising.
It is.
So the implication is that she kind of just takes one last flight before she turns to dust.
Yeah. And then that plane definitely just crashes into
or maybe the plane
field.
Turns to dust.
Oh, maybe the plane turns to dust too. So it's harmless. Yeah. So they get Thanos snapped by the sun.
And it's beautiful.
Except for we don't see it, so it's not that beautiful. It's just kind of implied.
It's beautiful when you imagine it.
There's that, and then the third one also ends on like kind of a weird dark note where like Ben Stiller has like relinquished his job as being the night guard, but also the guy who like somehow is now running the entire show that everyone thinks is just really cool animatronics.
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's
it's really
night
weird.
guard / activities coordinator.
Something. I don't know. It's weird. They don't spend a lot of time on these things.
They don't.
No, they really don't need to
because
it's
what we're here for.
Stupid comedy.
We're here to see Crystal the monkey slapping Ben Stiller.
Slap the shit out of Ben Stiller. Yeah. For like 3 minutes.
Right.
It's really good.
That's what we're here for.
Anyway, really good movies.
Great movies.
If you haven't seen them, they're really good. Other than that, we did a local market here.
Yeah. It was called, what was it called? Ghouls and Geeks.
Yeah, or Geeks and Ghouls. It was something like that.
Or Geeks and Ghouls Fest at Authentic Brewing Company. That was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was like a cool market where like a bunch of vendors set up, all sorts of your market fair, handcrafted stuff,
handcrafted items,
candles.
There were a lot of, because 'tis the season, there were a lot of horror related things, spooky Halloween stuff.
Yeah, so there was, I think, at least one stand, but probably multiple that were set up that had like vintage like Halloween stuff at them. I don't know if that was like their sole thing or whatever, but they did have like a lot of that stuff. But it was really cool, and there were also some like video game stands.
Yeah. Which
is the geek part. One of them had some VHSs, which I glossed over, but nothing that caught my interest.
Yeah. But yeah,
that was fun. We got a bunch of new stickers, and we were handing them out to people just as we were like right by the front door. So basically, everybody who wanted to come see the inside market had to pass by us. Yeah. And we were like, "Follow us."
Yeah.
On our stuff, you get a sticker.
Yeah. And then people weren't biting. So then it was, hey, you know what? Just take a sticker.
Just take a sticker.
And that actually worked out better.
Yeah. I think it's this thing where like people are like less inclined to do like any work up front, but if I just give them a sticker and they're like, "What's this for?" Now I've got them.
Right. Because people did like scan our QR code and stuff after that.
Yeah.
And hey, maybe right now you're listening to this and maybe you met us at the market.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Really good movie suggestions.
Yeah. We did get some movie suggestions. We added them to our list, so we're going to work our way through.
Yeah. I think a couple of them that got suggested, like, either you or I have already seen, but we haven't both seen them.
Right.
So that'll be fun.
Yeah, definitely.
But that was a really fun time. And then other than that, what have we been up to?
We've both had a birthday.
That's true. We're older.
We're, I was going to say wiser. I think I'm actually
certainly not.
Dumber, over time. Celebrated birthdays.
Mm-hmm. Got really into Banana Ball.
Yeah. Loving the firefighters. Big firefighter head over here.
Yeah. We're both now entered into the ticket lottery thing because it's the only way you can get legitimate tickets for it is by entering the lottery, and really hoping we win those.
Yeah. So I'm just going to say right now, don't sign up for the lottery. Improve our chances.
Yeah.
If you care about the podcast and us.
Or bribe us with tickets.
Yeah. Or if you do win the lottery, maybe reach out.
Yeah. Whatever.
We want to join.
Anyway. But yeah, so we've kind of been all over lately.
Yeah.
There's been a lot going on. Yeah. So, but in all of the stuff we've been doing, we managed to sit down and watch. We were kind of like looking for something else to watch, and we opened up Shudder.
Yeah.
And we found the movie that we did watch. It was unplanned.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't thrilled about it.
Right.
I'm going to put this up front.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of subjected myself to it because I've been told they get good.
Right.
I'm still kind of waiting for that, but...
Well, with that rousing
Yeah.
introduction, you've gotten everyone really excited
Yeah.
about what the movie is.
Well, no, because now everyone's going to be like, how does he not like these? Because literally everyone I talk to about these movies is like, oh, they're so good. I love these movies.
Yeah. So today we're talking specifically about VHS Halloween, which is the newest installment in the VHS franchise.
Yes.
If you're not familiar with the VHS franchise, I know it's pretty popular amongst horror fans, but they're not necessarily super mainstream, so
No.
I'm sure it'll be first time hearing about it for some folks. But basically they are a horror anthology, so they're all found footage
Yes.
based, but each film has multiple directors who create these horror shorts.
Yeah.
And usually there's kind of a like frame.
There's like an overarching story usually in between them.
Yeah.
So you get like one long story that is also done in like little shorts basically.
Right.
And then each one of these other like actual shorts for the anthology
Right.
is like the found footage stuff.
Yeah.
Although the kind of the one that like threads it all together in between is also still found footage.
It's all found footage. Yeah, that's part of their thing. But the whole like VHS franchise concept was made by Brad Miska, who's a horror producer, but probably most well known for being one of the creators of the Bloody Disgusting website that talks about horror films.
Yeah.
But each of these films, I think there's 8 now.
There's a lot
in the franchise. But they bring in new folks every time. So for VHS Halloween, which did come out just this year, it was directed by the following people: Brian M. Ferguson, Casper Kelly, Micheline Pitt Norman, R.H. Norman, Alex Ross Perry, Paco Plaza, and Anna Zlokovic. So they all contributed horror shorts to Halloween, or to VHS Halloween rather.
Yeah.
And not all of them have these themes. Like, of course, as the name implied, this one, the through line is Halloween. All the shorts have to do specifically with Halloween.
Yeah.
Some of them are a little bit more...
Well, I think like the first
random.
VHS, it's not like, it's truly an anthology where it's just like a bunch of like scary concept stuff.
Right.
But then there's ones that are like, what I think it's
there's
called
there's VHS 85 or something, so they're all
and
like
they're
80s.
all 80s stuff. I think there's one called like VHS Beyond, which is all like sci-fi futuristic stuff.
Yeah.
And so like some of them have these like constraints on it in which like they're still all anthology stuff, but they kind of fit a theme. But then other ones are way more loose and it's just purely anthology stuff.
Right.
Which is neat.
Yeah, but this was released by Shudder, so you can find it on there. I don't know if you can find it other places right now. I didn't look into it, but I will say we have watched, I think, what is it?
I think
maybe
this is
3 of them.
This
now?
is either 3 or 4 of them
Yeah.
that we've seen now.
Haven't even seen half of them based on that.
Yeah.
But I don't think either of us love the VHS movies we've seen so far.
Yeah.
Like, I kind of like the concept more than I like the execution.
So I think, like, this is the thing that I, like, really, like, kind of want to talk about with it, is that, like, the VHS franchise as a whole, I know I said earlier that I'm waiting for it to get good because I've been told that they get good.
And that is a thing. I will say, like, when you look at reviews, like, 1 was... like kind of well received, 2 and 3 weren't very well received, and then from there they've gotten a lot more positive reviews. So
like maybe I just haven't seen those ones yet.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I think it's one of those things where it's like, if anybody tells you that, like, no, just get through the first. Because if it's like the 4th one, that's good.
Right,
get through the first 6 hours of content.
and
then
really
this thing's going to take off. And I'm like, that is so much I got to watch. And I'll be totally fair to the VHS franchise, is that because it's an anthology and even the overarching story within each one doesn't necessarily relate to anything else in any of the other VHS movies.
No, like, it's overarching to that
specific VHS one, but it's not to the franchise as a whole. You could just skip 1, 2, 3 and then start with 4.
Sure.
But I feel like that's kind of a disservice to just, like, ignore the first 3 and then start with the 4th one and be like, from here is when it's good. Because those first 3 exist, and I also want to, like, I want to view the hard work and everything that people put into these things. Like, it's still art and it's still cool. Like, as much as I don't necessarily vibe with these movies, there are little things in them that I pick up on. And I'm like, this is a fun idea. This is cool.
Yeah.
I appreciate that some of these are purely short stories within these anthologies, because I imagine some of them being longer.
And there's not.
And I'm like, there's not a story there.
Right.
What's that movie called? Skinamarink. Fucking hate that movie.
We're losing subscribers.
They're out of here. No, I know. I know it got like a bunch of awards and shit from the Chainsaw Awards thing. There's a fleet of people out there, legions of people that love Skinamarink. You can come talk to me and I'll tell you that you're wrong all day long. I do not like that movie.
We are 2 certified Skinamarink haters.
And that's okay. Anyway,
and I think that in general, I don't know that it's unique to this franchise, but I think this is kind of something that you bump up against in any, like, anthology art form, whether it's, you know, short stories, series, movies, whatever, is that inevitably, because you're dealing with different directors with different concepts, not everything is going to please you.
Sure,
you know?
sure,
and I think
sure.
that's kind of the rub, is that pretty much in all of these I've watched, there have been parts that I've been super into and invested, and then other ones that I'm like, this just isn't for me. Yeah. This is doing nothing for me. I don't like it.
And I think you're right. That is kind of the nature of an anthology thing, is it's not always going to hit on every single one. But there is I guess the idea there is that there's a little bit of something for everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that that's truly great. Do I think I need to go into every VHS and come out of it being like, all 5 of those shorts were perfect and I wouldn't change anything?
I mean, in an ideal world, that'd be great,
sure,
right?
But we live here and now, so that's not going to happen. And, you know, for me, it's like on average, I'm getting like 1 short story that I'm like kind of vibing with, and the rest of them, it's like I could take or leave. Like, I could probably put a VHS together of like my favorite ones is like how few of them that I'm vibing with.
Yes.
So
yeah.
And they're for like
hate to say
and they're like for different reasons too, that I like the ones that I like. And I'm not going to cover the other 3 that we've seen. I think it's 3 or whatever, because like that's a different episode and it would take way too long to cover all of that. We're just going to talk about VHS Halloween in this one. And I do think that there were some parts of this one that were kind of standout, whether it was ideas or visuals or whatever. But then there were other parts that I was really just like, this one could be over. I don't like this concept all that much. Like, it started maybe kind of fun, but then like, and this is maybe just my brain, but being like, this doesn't make any sense. Why would they do it this way?
Hey, turn that off. We're trying to have fun here.
I can't. We got, especially in a short story, you have an even like less of a time to get me hooked on the premise.
Yeah.
To get me in there. And I think that's one of the faults of an anthology thing, the way that they're doing it, where it is like there are these breaks into this overarching story or whatever, which I will say for this one, I actually really liked the overarching story because I thought it was intentionally kind of stupid and campy.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
And like that really got me in. Like it was so over the top and silly, and they didn't waste time explaining a bunch of shit. They were just like, it's Ghost Soda.
Right.
And we don't know why they need to make it. We don't know why it needs to be on shelves. We don't even know really who's making it, except for the company name, which I can't remember off the top of my head. It's like Omnitrix or some shit or whatever. Omnicorp or something.
The Octagon Company.
Octagon Company, and it was an O something, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, but like that's really like all we know about it. And like that's fine. That's like the perfect level of like, I don't need to be any more invested in it. I just get to come back and we get these little snapshots into this. That's great. But like, because we keep coming into that and then we go into the short stories that are kind of interspersed in there, like they have such a narrow window to get me involved in that. Yeah. And some of them, it was like, I legitimately go in every one of these with an open mind being like, I want to like this one. I really want to like this one. I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good. And then I get to one of the shorts and I'm like, this fucking sucks.
You're so mean.
I know I'm so mean. I know.
Honestly, I would say, and it'll become more apparent when we do our scores at the end, but of the VHS movies we have watched so far and away, this is my favorite one.
Oh, easily.
In that, I will say that I enjoyed more of the shorts than I didn't.
Yes.
And even in the ones that I was like kind of, there's really only one, for me anyway, that I was like,
oh, that's fun.
I want to,
we'll discuss this later, but I want to know which one you really didn't vibe with, like the least and the mine. Yeah. Because I don't know if they're going to be the same.
Yeah, I don't know. But I think that's pretty good. I mean, out of, what is it? I think it's 5 and then the frame narrative. Yeah. So we have Diet Phantasma, which is the frame narrative. Yeah. We have Coochie Coochie Coo, which is the first one. Ut Supra Sic Infra is the second one. Fun Size is the third one. Kid Print was the fourth one. Home Haunt was this. Yeah. So there's 5 short stories, and then Diet Phantasma is the one that is interspersed throughout the whole story. And for me, there was really only one that I didn't necessarily super vibe with, and I was kind of like, I don't know if we needed this or if this is how I would do it or whatever. So I think like those stats are pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, if was he said 4 or 5? Total?
5.
5 including the narrative?
6 including the narrative.
Okay, so 5 not including the narrative. If 4 of those are hitting, that's pretty good. Yeah. And I think we both liked the narrative, so even if you bump it to that, it's 5 of 6. Yeah. I mean, that's
5/6 of it was pretty rock solid to me. Like, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and exactly. And I guess this is my thing, is if every one of the VHS movies were hitting that ratio, would not be that negative about it. Right. But they don't. So especially the first one. We got done with that one and I was like, I may not actually watch another one of these.
Yeah, the only reason we've seen any more of them is because I'm the person that keeps being like, I've heard they get good. Put it on. We pay for Shudder. We're getting our month's worth. Yeah.
we are slowly working our way through all of them. It's just like when enough time has passed that I kind of forgot how I felt about the last one. She can sneak in a new one.
I'm sort of the mama cat pulling my kitten by the scruff of their neck through like upstream through a creek. Yeah. And
yeah. Yep. Anyway, okay, let's talk about some of these.
And just in case there's anyone who's concerned about it, we're not going to go into like super deep detail into all of these. We just want to hit all the different concepts since they're standalones. Yeah. But yeah, do you want to talk about, you want to start from the top?
Yeah, so we mentioned it. The framing narrative of this whole thing is this Diet Phantasma thing that they do, and I can't remember how many times in between each one of the overarching things, but as I kind of said, this is kind of the whole thing of it, is that they're creating this spooky soda for Halloween called Diet Phantasma, and it appears to have ghost energy in it.
Extract.
I don't know.
From a ghost.
They've used the words extract in there, so whatever. There's something in it, and then they have all these test subjects that they keep having come into the room, and then the guy keeps instructing them to drink or open the can or whatever.
Right.
And whenever they do, or sometimes before they do, like crazy shit happens inside the test thing, where inevitably every one of the test subjects like dies in some horrifically like graphic, gory thing.
And then I think the implication is that they have to like vacuum the ghost, the like remaining ghost energy out of the room for the vent, which I don't know.
I don't know.
Logistics of
they really don't, like, again, they don't really explain a lot that has to do with this bit that goes the whole thing. But it's very much
intentionally a comedy. Like, this, his name's like Rothschild or something. Yeah. He's like the lead doctor. Of overseeing the experiment. He's very, like, he'll watch this horrible thing happen, and then he'll just sort of casually be like, okay, we need to take it down by 25% or whatever. And, like, very little empathy or you know, any acknowledgement of like the severity of what's going on. Like, he truly is just trying to get soda.
One of the two of the best things about they center around the same test subject, his comments. There's it's like the third test subject that they have in is this little kid that goes in there, and we've already watched like 3 people be brutally like murdered by this ghost drink or whatever,
and like crazy like practical effects.
It's
like,
so good.
Eyes bleeding.
It's one of the shining things of this movie for me is the practical effects, or even if they are CGI, whatever. Like
they looked good.
They looked really good and really fun, and they were like super over the top in the best way. But so like the third one, the kid opens the can and nothing happens, and they like drink some of it, and the Rothschild guy is like, did we even put any in there?
Right.
And they were like, yeah, we had to rework the formula because there's such a small subject, we couldn't put the same amount in there. Right. And he was like, what the fuck? And then so he has him bring in another can, and the guy comes in with like the really long tongs, and he's like shaking
like
as
a hazmat
he like sets it down, and then of course when they like open the other can you don't even really get to see it. No. The kid straight up just explodes.
Instantly explodes. Yeah.
But then when we get the next cutaway thing, I think he has like a larger group of people in there in this one, and he makes the comment because like what they're like, oh, we've not tested for having this many subjects in the room at this time, and he's like, we have to do this now because it took like so long to clean all that kid's guts up off the walls. Right. And you can still see like some of the blood staining in the room. And I was like, that's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, that the overarching narrative thing is really fun. It's really campy. It almost feels like weirdly like Goosebumps 90s-esque, you know, like Nickelodeon, the whole Diet Phantasma thing or whatever. Like, it has this certain quality to it in the way that it's like filmed, and like the effect they do for the VHS like feature of it. It comes across really well. So really liked that one.
Yeah, we're fans of Diet Phantasma. I would buy it if it was on the shelves.
Yes. The first, I guess, short that we get into here is Coochie Coochie Coo.
And this one was by Anna Zlokovic.
Yes. This one revolves around like is it like high school?
I think what they said at the beginning is that they're like seniors in high school, so this is like their last chance ever to go trick-or-treating is kind of the idea. Yeah.
We get pretty early on when they're like talking this setup of like the mommy's gonna get you.
Right.
And they don't explain what that is.
But it's implied it's some kind of local urban legend, you know.
And over the course of this, they go out trick-or-treating, and like a lot of people are commenting like, oh, aren't you too old for this? Whatever. Yeah. And then this like house that they missed, they decide to go to it, and this is when like the stuff kind of breaks bad.
Yes.
For them, is they go to this like house that is like all of the lights are like glowing noticeably, like they can see it too, and so they decide to go to this house, and when they go inside, thinking, well, one of them thinks it's a haunted house and that whatever,
Right.
it's just a big joke or whatever. And then the other one follows them in to the house. And then when they try to leave, the door's not there.
The door's not
basically
there. And so they're kind of trapped in this crazy house.
Yeah. We get to see who the mommy is and some of like, there's like this other girl that's disappeared like a while ago.
The last Halloween or something.
Something like that. Yeah. And we get to see all this stuff. And it's a lot of this one for me is gross out horror.
It is more gross out, yeah.
And less like, well, I guess for me it's gross out horror, and the mommy character comes across way more as like shitty creepypasta than it does like anything else.
Yeah. The mommy character is like a creepy, tall, lanky woman in like a bonnet and an old like night dress and has like 8 boobs for some reason.
And they're just leaking.
Yeah, they do be leaking. There's a lot of fluid in this house.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look.
There's like footprints in milk, which like I don't even know how you do that. That doesn't even really make sense. But like whatever.
There it is. Yeah. You know? And we're finding like other victims being like forced fed breast milk and, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff. And like weird infantile. It seems like the longer the victims are there, they sort of regress and become more childlike, but they also do that physically. So like they did some like prosthetics on the actors to kind of give them those like unnaturally chubby cheeks and like big baby eyes, you know? Yeah. But I would agree this one is more gross, or if you have things related to like pregnancy or motherhood that hits for you, then this probably would be terrifying.
Yeah, that one was fine. After that, it's another Diet Phantasma thing where, again, I'm not going to go into them again because I did the whole overarching plot of it, but then the next short is called Ut supra sic infra.
This one I thought was kind of cool. It starts out with the aftermath of the event where we see a young man who's being interviewed by the police, and we're getting these like shots of crime scene photos of people in Halloween costumes that have like their eyes gouged out and stuff. And the police are basically saying like, you're the only person who survived, but you know, there's not evidence that you did this, and yet you're taking responsibility. Like, how could you have basically crushed all of their bones to dust, like, without any tools or, you know, whatever. And so they ask to have the suspect go back to the scene of the crime and walk them through what occurred that night so that they can try to, like, understand or maybe unlock memories that he's forgotten or whatever. And that's when we kind of, we sort of go back and forth a little bit in time. So we get some cell phone footage from this group of friends, and basically they sneak into this old house that was once owned by like a psychic medium, and she's got a seance room and, you know, blah blah blah. But when they all go up there, some supernatural shit goes down and they all end up dead, and sort of accidentally, when the police are having him replay the night, they're kind of setting the stage for it to happen again, basically. Unknowingly setting the stage.
Yeah, this one I think was one of those ones where like initially I was kind of hooked because I thought it was an interesting concept that they were doing, especially like the interlacing the current, like, you know, what we're supposed to be seeing like as it happens, but then like the cell phone footage that, you know, would have been recovered for the found footage. And I thought like that was kind of interesting. It ended up losing me kind of when they got to the attic space and everything was starting to happen, mostly because ut supra sic infra phrase, I guess, translates to as above so below, and they tell you that in the story. And I feel like that's a cool concept. We've reviewed the movie by that title for this show, and we both really like that movie. And that is a found footage movie. And I think they do a really, really good job within that movie and with that concept of as above, so below. And I feel like this short story takes that idea, but then I don't know how well they execute on the as above, so below premise of it. Basically, like, he gets possessed and he like kills everybody And then the police, and they do this big walkthrough thing for some reason to like have him unlock memories, which that was also kind of like taking me out of it. Like I can't remember the exact thoughts that I was having, but there was like a certain point where like, oh, all your cameras like cut off shortly after you went up there. So like we need you to like tell us what happened. And so that's why they have him walk back through or whatever. But he's like clearly freaked out, and they bring the phone and all of that and all these props and everything. But it starts like ringing again, and then we get to see what actually happened, or at least supposedly what happened or whatever. I just feel like the only like as above so below part of it that we got is like they all get put up on the ceiling in there, and then we're seeing through the camera like he's like gone through one door and he comes out walking kind of upside down on the ceiling. And I was like, that's kind of neat, I guess, but like the whole premise of As Above, So Below doesn't seem like it's like really hitting in the rest of this. Like, I don't know what about in the below part is happening in the above part, or vice versa, because it's supposed to be like mirrored. And other than there's just dead people, and like I guess that's the below part or whatever. But like that's like the most surface level. Like, yeah, we're alive, so the below part is dead people. But like, what else is about it? You know what I mean? Like,
right. I don't know. I guess that didn't necessarily bother me because I was kind of taking the as above, so below thing to be more along the lines of like occultist interpretations rather than like alchemical or, you know, quote unquote scholarly interpretations. And a big part of it in like occult spiritualism is kind of the idea of like as above, so below. That has, what is it? That which has been will return again. Like there's like a sort of extended interpretation of it. So I guess I thought of it as more of that part of like patterns will repeat themselves.
Sure. I guess I can understand that. It feels like, to me, it's just kind of a weird setup to have this. They end up saying the phrase like 3 times, and that's what activates everything up there. Right. It's like a Bloody Mary spell or something like that, that they do. And it doesn't seem to matter if it's daylight or nighttime, because the first time it happens is at night. The second time when the police are all there and they're talking with him about it, it's in the middle of the day or whatever, when it all happens. But it seems like, for me, the thing that they say could have literally been anything. To me...
And I think it could have been.
Yeah, and so to me, that makes the as above, so below part just, like, irrelevant to the rest of it. Like, is it a good story outside of that? I think it's fine. But it could have just been any, like, pagan saying or witchy kind of thing on the wall, or it could have just been, like, riddle me this, that they say 3 times and then the phone rings. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't... To me... It just doesn't seem like it has anything to do with it. So
what I will say is that you clearly were not on Tumblr in 2012.
Yeah.
And your ignorance is showing.
Okay. That's fine.
It sounds like you saw one movie called As Above, So Below, and you're like, you know what? I know what that means.
I'm just saying I like that. I like the way that they did it better. I'm not saying I know everything about it. I'm saying I like what they did better.
That's fair.
Because in that, and again, to be totally fair, this is a short. You only got like, I don't even know what the runtime on it was. I'll be generous and say it was 30 minutes.
Oh, I don't know what the individual runtimes are.
But that's fine. Idea. But let's say it's 30, even if it's 30 minutes, right? Like.
And I doubt it was that.
Yeah. You got a very tight window to like kind of get your story through. So I get that we can't have the same like journey that we would have over like the same like 2-hour movie of only that.
Right.
So like I get that we don't have all of that. It just, I don't know.
Which again, I think I'm going to bat for this one.
That's fine.
Because one, I think there's different interpretations.
Absolutely.
Of below that you don't know because again, you weren't on Tumblr in 2012.
And that's fine.
And
I am the cis white guy. I speak.
But also,
I speak for the he's.
I think As Above, So Below is so iconically known by everyone to be like, oh, this is like metaphysical shit. That to your point of we don't have a lot of time for setup. I think it's kind of shorthand for, oops, they accidentally did a ritual.
I mean, that's fair, and I think that's a fair interpretation of it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's also just like, because it's so shorthand that it could have been any phrase. It didn't need to be as above, so below. And I think that in the culture that we live in, the world that we live in, like, that could have just been any phrase, and putting as above, so below, to me, has certain connotations to it that it's going to set up a certain thing, and then to me, it just didn't pay off on that. We got to go up on the ceiling, and it was kind of a reverse thing, but, like, not really. It wasn't like when they went on the thing, like, the lighting changed, and they were in the dark, and, like, there you could see all the dead people around or whatever. It was one guy who was clearly possessed, gouging out eyeballs and killing people on the ceiling. And, like, that was going to happen, I think, on the floor or on the ceiling where he slurped them up to.
As above, so below.
Right.
So
but again, their souls were still in their body.
Facto.
No. Anyway, it's fine. It wasn't my least favorite one.
I don't know. Kind of.
No. See, that's the thing, is it sounds like I'm being harsh. I don't generally like these movies, so a lot of my takes on these are going to be a little bit harsh. So.
Okay, let's stop talking about this.
Yeah, that's fine.
The third one.
Oh, sorry. I don't know if we said it. That one was directed by Paco Plaza.
Paco Plaza, who
yeah,
fans of the pod might remember from the episode we did on Rec.
I was like pretty sure, because it was a Spanish setting.
Okay.
Thing. No, I'm just saying that, like, there's I don't know, that there was something about the way that the
found footage
thing was kind of done, was like very reminiscent of that same style, at least of the one Rec that I've seen. I haven't seen all of them.
You don't need to see all.
You know what's interesting? Sorry, this is a wild tangent. When we were scrolling the other day, I think on like HBO or whatever, it was like recommending different like categories of stuff, and it said comedy, and we were under the horror thing, so these were horror comedies. And Rec 3 was the first one that it recommended. Is that a horror comedy in your opinion?
It's so bad it's good, so
Got
it's
it.
laughable.
So they decided we'll just put that one in there.
I don't know that it was intended to be.
Got it. Okay, that's what I thought, but that makes it even funnier.
Yeah. That
the algorithm was like, we'll just we'll just get ahead of it and put it here. That's why nobody can be mad when they watch it.
And then they didn't get what they came for.
Yeah,
exactly.
Anyway.
All right. So the third one is called Fun Size. This one is by Casper Kelly.
Yeah.
This one features two couples on Halloween night that like leave a lame party and they're kind of drunk, and one of the annoying girls being annoying is like, hey, let's totally like go trick or treat because I want some chocolate. And then everybody's like, really cool idea. And they go trick-or-treating. And they end up discovering on a porch that, just has like the bowl out with like the please take one kind of thing. They go up to take one, but then they take a look at this candy, and it's all like weird candy you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Like,
one's like Jeremy Find is the name of
like
the candy.
Snippers and like weird stuff that they've never seen before. And I think one of them even says he like Googles it and there's nothing.
Yeah.
So it's not even like, oh, it's from a different country or whatever. Like they're like, what is this weird candy? And one of the guys, he takes a candy that looks suspiciously like a penis. Like a penis.
Yeah.
And he eats it. And then he's like, oh, I gotta try some of these other ones. Failing.
Mm-hmm. He did not heed the sign.
That it said, please take one.
Yeah.
Not please take as many as you want.
Yeah.
Please take one. But when he takes more than one, he ends up getting sucked into the bowl.
Yeah.
And then all of them get sucked into the bowl.
Yeah, okay, but that kind of glosses over. Two of them get sucked into the bowl and one, because the first guy gets sucked in and the guy's trying to grab him by the ankles, and then he gets pulled in. And the other two are like, we're gonna fucking run and call the cops. And I was like, great, excellent. And they do...
The funniest
thing they could fucking have done. They turn around and the candy bowl is flying at them like Mach 5.
Yes.
Just coming straight at them, and it blacks out.
Yeah.
And then they wake up in a warehouse.
So presumably the bowl went on their head
and
consumed
just
them and took them into, I don't know, like a pocket dimension,
something. I don't know what.
Hell,
I guess.
I'm not really sure.
Who knows?
But whatever this place is, it looks kind of like a factory or a warehouse or whatever. And the group is being terrorized by this creature.
Yeah.
Called Fun Size.
Yeah. Do you know I think it's Jack in the Box?
Yeah.
He kind of reminiscent of the Jack in the Box
logo.
mascot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this one was a wild ride. Let me just say.
It's so weird because this is the one that I'm so like 50-50 on.
Me too. I kind of love it.
It's like kind of iconic. It kind of also is like one of the worst ones. But I think if you view it through the frame of it's trying to be really campy and silly,
comedy.
It's a comedy one.
Yeah.
It swings back to being actually pretty good.
That's where I landed on it. Is I was like, okay, I hate this. Wait, now we're cooking.
Yeah.
Huh? That's stupid. Oh, it's stupid on purpose.
Yeah.
And then I was like, fuck
okay,
yeah, Fun Size.
Yeah.
Fun Size King of Halloween.
Yeah.
You know?
I love it. I want him like Art the Clown to have his own.
He needs his own universe.
He has a sidekick.
He has a sidekick. He has a catchphrase. It's Fun Size.
Fun Size.
Which is just his name. And so he's sort of a Pokemon, if you will.
Fun Size, Fun Size.
But yeah, this one was definitely the most comedic of all of them, and I do think it was intentional.
Absolutely, yes.
And part of this one also kind of had like gross out humor, I guess.
For sure.
The horror of this is that one of the guys gets captured and he's chained to a conveyor belt that runs him through kind of like a candy making factory where he gets chopped up into pieces.
All these different bits.
And so you've got like an ear and his hand and
his brain. His brain is just like fully exposed and just like comes out or whatever.
And all those pieces then get treated and turned into candy.
They get like coated in chocolate and caramel and stuff like that, and then they get wrapped in the packaging that we saw before.
So weird. So when he ate that penis earlier, and he was like, he was probably eating somebody's poor little penis.
Yeah. So this is one of the grossest ones I think in it, just because of like all of the little bits from when the characters get like chopped up and stuff.
There was a lot of like viscera in this
like
one.
when he first goes through it, I think they spend the most time on that because that's the one that like really sets up like the actual like lethality of the situation they find themselves in. Like he goes through and there's like a saw that like splits him in half. It's like it's really gross and over the top. So like I applaud that. Super fantastic. Some of the moments in this one that like legitimately got me to laugh were some of the lines the character said.
Oh God, yes.
Some of like how they chose to like stand in certain scenes and just like overall like how the dialogue was delivered at certain parts.
Correct. Yes.
That like especially towards the end of it you really got like, oh, this is supposed to just be like stupid and bad for the sake of being kind of stupid and bad, and it's funny.
Right.
So two of the characters are dressed up as like a couple's costume, I guess, and it's not a good couple's costume. They're dressed up as like investigators on like for a paranormal ghost hunting thing,
which is really just a way for us to have lots of cameras with lots of angles.
And they like kind of explain it in universe too, because like it's not like they just like fashion some like, you know, makeshift like toilet paper tubes to kind of look like him. They were like decked out in GoPros. And he was like, so you know how in like found footage movies you always get to that point where, and I do have this argument every single time. Like, why are they still filming? Well, now it's because we have cameras strapped all over our heads and stuff. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So that's why we're doing this.
Right.
But it's so funny that they took the time to be like, we're going to explain it in this one.
The precious few minutes each of these shorts have. They're like, you ain't going to catch me
no.
slipping.
They just said, I got it. Don't come for me.
They said, yes, a penis gets turned into a chocolate candy bar. No, they do not abandon their camera because it's attached to their freaking head.
They have both their hands available. You can stop asking about it now.
Right. So fuck off.
It's so good. He and the woman and they're in a relationship, and there's this whole thing about like, are they gonna get married?
Yeah,
or he's
I guess they're like recently engaged, but she like low key wanted to break up, and then he popped the question, and she panicked and was like, yeah.
And but the way he talks to her constantly, it's the most cringe inducing. Like, he's just like, we're going to be together forever, right, my fiance? Oh my God, it's so fun to just say fiance, isn't it? Yep. And he's just talking like that the entire time. Yep. It's so...
the worst couple you knew when you were 19.
It's so bad, but it's so good. when they first get into, there's this scene, and this is before I really caught on to, like, this is intentionally supposed to be, like, funny. And I'll put that on me. It was probably set up sooner than that it was supposed to be funnier. Mm-hmm. It just wasn't hitting for me until this moment. But one of the characters gets covered in, like, caramel or something. They see this candy bowl inside the weird dimension. Mm-hmm. And then, like, they're all, like, freaking out about something. And instead of doing anything, we see them kind of all in a wide shot. And they're all standing there just, like, kind of looking at each other like, ah!
Just, like, in, like, a weird...
like, almost like T-pose, but their arms aren't straight out. They're bent at the elbows. It's weird.
And the person who got... Nickelodeon slime by the caramel just sort of stood there.
Yeah, like it goes down and he's like, oh, what is this? And it's still pouring, which is really funny.
Take a step to the left.
but it's funny because it almost like sets up a recurring bit, because later when you think like, oh, maybe he's gonna get the upper hand on Fun Size, and he like cuts off a hand,
right?
And he just starts like spraying him with like Skittles, and the guy again, he just stands there getting pelted with Skittles, and he could like easily
So these people have no reaction time.
So good.
They have no emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
And Fun Size is the new king of Halloween. I don't know that.
It was here first. It was great because, like, for me, the one before this was kind of like I was on that like downward trend of like, this is gonna be just like all the other VHSs, and then like halfway through Fun Size, I was like, no, they got me back in. Yeah, I'm back in 100%. I can see at least one more of these in this, and I'll be okay. Yeah, Fun Size is great. The next one is Kid Print. This one is by Alex Ross Perry. Yeah, I think this is probably the darkest. Yeah, it's not quite. The other ones kind of have like that edge of like Halloween fun to them, even if they are darker. This one is more like disturbing, I guess. Yeah, this one's a little messed up. We got the child murder. This one, the framing behind it is that this guy runs like a electronics store in town, and he comes up with this business called Kid Print, where you can get like a short video made of your child, and there's like one of those height like chart things like in the background, and they can say like their name and, you know, what schools they go to and all that kind of stuff. And the whole point of it is that it can be given to parents. That way, if their child were to go missing, they have like a recent up-to-date, like all the angles of them and like their up-to-date information and everything. And this business sort of popped up because there's been a rash of like child disappearances and kidnappings and murders in the area. So all the parents are on high alert and super concerned, and like nobody wants to let their kids out for Halloween, and it's, you know, a whole thing. Yeah. Again, I think this is one of the darker ones. The character that we end up following, he's like this dad. Again, he runs the store. Yeah. And we see him going home, and like he meets up with his 2 daughters and his wife, and then they go to what we would call like a trunk or treat kind of a deal, where it's like there's like a police officer who's like giving out candy, and they're all under like a pavilion in like a park or whatever, and it's like daylight, so you know, whatever.
They explained like because of everything that the city like canceled trick or treat, and they're doing these like
little party things, and then everyone goes home and that's it, to avoid anything happening. And while he's there, one of the girls from kind of the beginning part of this, she was like a 17-year-old girl or something like that was doing one of these kid print things. We, the audience, and also this character are informed by the police officer that like she's disappeared.
Right. Now she's missing. In
the span of time. And the officer's like, would you mind going back to your store and seeing if you could like rush out that kid print thing of her so that we can get this out sooner to maybe like find her before anything like, you know, happens or whatever. And then when he goes to the store is like really when all of the like crazy stuff happens.
Shit pops off.
Yeah, he goes there and he's basically walks into like people being tortured and like filmed and everything like that, and we kind of get the twist of everything. I don't want to fully spoil it,
right?
But just kind of the implications of all of this is like pretty dark, and disturbing. It's pretty good. I enjoyed this one, generally speaking.
This was my least favorite one.
Really? This was your least favorite one?
Yeah.
So I guess since you said that, my least favorite one's the first one.
I figured based on your comments.
Coochie Coochie Coo was just, it's garbage to me. It's fucking... There's a scene in Coochie Coochie Coo, like after they discover the door is gone, because they don't discover it right off the top. They run into the house because they get scared by the mommy or this witch character or whatever. And then they try to go back, and when they go to, and they discover the door is gone, and they like turn around and like the mommy or whatever is like peering around a corner, and you can just see her eyes, and then she like goes back around the corner or whatever. And I'm like, this is straight out of like just like the worst fucking creepypasta shit that has never scared me once, whatever. And I was like, we can be done with this one. And the ending of that one is so bad to me, where like she's like singing her, it's always just, it's a fucked up version of a lullaby.
Yeah,
and
I mean, she was just singing Rockabye Baby, but like slightly altered lyrics.
Yeah, and I was just like, it's just like, it's not, to me, not good, and I don't like it, and so it was just bad to me.
I mean, I will say it didn't scare me. Yeah. I didn't mind the sort of creepypasta-ness of it all.
Yeah.
Specifically because it had the framing of like, oh, this is like an urban legend and, you know, all this stuff. Like, to me, it worked because it was framed that way.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of those creepypastas do have that edge of like, I think of something like Slender Man, for example, as being this sort of like, oh, he's an urban legend, and like kids want to prove that he's fake, and then they go out and, oh, he's actually real. And like, no, it doesn't really scare me, but I thought it was fun.
I think I like the concept and the idea more than I like their execution of it.
And that's fair.
And that one maybe would have warranted a slightly longer movie about it. I'm not saying like a full 2 hours.
I don't know, maybe it's your favorite one.
Tight 90, maybe.
So you're like, give it a whole major motion picture.
No, I just like maybe more time to work with it, a few more characters than just these 2 college girls, and one of them's supposed to be the smart one, but is still making the most insane decisions during the course of the fucking thing, and then the other one's the kind of vapid, like idiot one or whatever. Yeah. It's just like, I've seen it like a dozen times, and it's like there's nothing new in that, and like, ooh, we got a woman with 8 boobs leaking milk out of there. Like, it's not...
I love a big scary lady with big saggy titties and a commentary on motherhood. What can I say? It does it for me.
Anyway, it's fine. Yes. My least favorite one out of the bunch, which I know, based on my comments about the other As Above So Below one, people were probably like, oh, he hates that one. No, actually not my least favorite one. So, you know,
so the
you don't know me.
Reason that the kid print one was my least favorite is I think when you present a concept that is based in real world horrors, you know, something like The Mommy, that's fake. That shit ain't real.
Sure.
You can do whatever rules you want because it's all made up and nothing matters. When you're doing a story that's like, oh, there's like a real child predator in a community and like what the effects of that are, I kind of want the concept to hold up to the most basic level of scrutiny. And to me, this one doesn't. Kid print makes no sense. The kids, when they were like talking in the videos, they were talking about what they're gonna do tonight. And I'm like, so do they have to come and redo this every day? Like, this makes no sense. And
no, go off. If I'm allowed to have apparently bad takes about As Above, So Below and not being on Tumblr or whatever, you can have your opinions about kid print.
So, just kind of didn't make any sense.
Sure.
And and then I'm trying to like, some of my things will have to get into spoilers, so I'm going to try to be more like vague about it, I guess. But you have this predator whose motivations are simultaneously clear as mud, but also like so ham-fisted, where it's just like, I don't know, he was traumatized and therefore he wears his victim's skin. And also there is like a storage room that's down a hallway from where we do kid print that we've been viciously torturing people for, the implication being months at least, and no one's been in there.
He hoses it out.
What?
He hoses it out. Just cleans it out.
He kept that one kid alive for multiple days because that football kid who was in there, he had been missing for weeks. So you're telling me that you're keeping live victims down the hallway from this functioning business and nobody knows what's going on? And also, that guy doesn't even own the building. Why does he get access to the special room? Who the fuck does this guy think he is?
He's the weekend guy.
I don't care what guy
that back room's only for weekend people.
And also, like, they made this implication that they were like, oh, he uses the videos to like find out where his victims are gonna be, that way he can like learn about them and like lure them to the video store. I'm sorry, as a former child, as a person who knows children, I don't think that's gonna work. I don't think 17-year-old who just wanted to go out to the Halloween party with her friends, I don't think Mr. So-and-so from the video store coming up and doing his little, well, hey, little lady, how you doing today? And I heard you're going to a Halloween party. Do you want to ride in my car? I'm not scary at all. She's not getting in, especially in a world where everyone's on high alert because kids are fucking popping up in ditches and being skinned.
She doesn't care. She's 17. She's worried about getting high and making out with a boy or something.
Well, then why is she getting in this guy's car to go to the video store?
Because he's got a cool car.
He's old, and no, he doesn't.
We don't see the car.
He's not even hot old, okay?
He is like pretty average looking.
Yes. He's just a guy.
He's just a guy.
And it made no sense. None of it made any sense at all.
Yeah.
And then, like, at the end, spoilers, I guess, the guy is getting interviewed on the news, and he just drops like, oh, well, I guess I'll just continue making kid print as as my own thing now. And I'm like, first of all, you didn't own this video store.
Yeah.
Like, when the boss of a business dies, it's not sort of this loosey-goosey free-for-all where it's like, what employee wants to take up the mantle? Like, there are, like, contracts and leases and LLCs.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
But, well, maybe he bought it. Or
the
something.
Next day?
Or, like, forged some signatures or whatever. Yeah, maybe the implication is, like, he's gonna... I'll just keep doing it with the, like, I'm gonna buy the business and I'm gonna take it over. It'll be my thing now.
Okay.
Because I don't think the wife or anything is gonna want to do it, because, like, the whole idea, this is big, kind of a spoiler thing or whatever, is it looks like the guy that we'd kind of been following for
the owner of
owner of it he basically gets framed for
it. He makes it seem like he was the guy when in reality it's someone else.
Yeah. And so, like, it would be this big shame thing or whatever. So maybe he's going to, like, change the name and it's going to be a different business, but he's going to keep doing it. And now he can use the back room and he doesn't have people like you ask him why he gets to use the back room because he's the boss now.
Yeah.
Maybe they were partners in the business and he just did the weekend shifts.
Not the way that they talked about it, but...
I don't know. I don't really remember.
It didn't make sense.
That's fine.
And I didn't like this one.
That's fair. I think this one was... I don't want to say it was the most slow burn. I actually think Utsupra was actually the most slow burn of them. But this one was, like, the second slowest burn because it takes a while for us to get to, like, anything.
Yeah.
And to your point, I do think it's, like... There's a lot of logical leaps in this whole, like, he's been doing this for implied, like, months. Mm-hmm. And suddenly we're at the video store. So either he's been using the video store as part of this or he's just recently doing it. But the language that he uses implies that, like, he's been doing this, like, on the weekends.
Right.
But maybe he brings them in on the weekends because nobody else is there, like at night or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then during the week, he's, like, moved him out somewhere. He's got a...
I really respect and appreciate how much you're going to bat for the logical inconsistencies of this movie, and you're doing a lot of heavy lifting here.
Yeah, I want to believe.
I want to believe in the child murderer. Yeah. He's got a good thing going.
He's got a heart of gold. The last thing that we'll get into for this one.
Yeah, I know we're running long.
This is going to be a long one. That's okay. It's kind of hard to talk about anthology stuff without running a little long. Is Home Haunt.
This one's by Micheline Pitt Norman and R.H. Norman.
Yeah. This is, I think, my second favorite of all of them, if we're not counting Diet Phantasma or as the, as one of them or whatever. Home Haunt was just kind of fun.
Super Halloween-y and just, you know, good. This one was sort of what I expected, like, all of them to be like.
Yes.
Because I thought it was just going to be all, like, woo, it's Halloween and we're doing Halloween stuff.
Yes.
You know?
This one, the opening has some of the best, like, setup for what we're going to be dealing with.
Yeah.
It gives you this home video thing of a little kid setting up a haunted, like literally a home haunted house thing with his dad. And they've come up with these characters called Dr. What was it? Dr. something?
I don't know.
But then the kid's name is like Igor Mortis or something like that. And so they're like, they're having a good time. And then we get this hard cut. The kid's older. The dad's trying to get him to do it. And the kid's like, I get made fun of at school because of this stupid haunt thing. Yeah. I hate you. He's calling his dad by his first name, which is...
he's calling him like Blake or whatever.
Keith, which is really funny. Yeah. Just have gone with this. And, and I think this is one of the kind of fun ones. I think it's a little ham-fisted the way that they do the recording when everything like pops off or whatever, to just have a camera in there or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
this
fine.
One didn't necessarily come up with a good reason for that.
It's
but
fine.
Whatever. We'll forgive it.
They tried to like set it up in a way that it's believable, and it is for the most part. Anyway, a lot of this centers around this home haunt years later when, the kid's older and doesn't want to do this anymore, and the dad's like, let's do this one last time.
Yeah, he's trying to hype it up. This is our thing.
Yeah, kid doesn't want to do it. Mom ends up... the kid says blackmailing him.
Yeah.
We don't know what that means exactly, but they end up going to this, like, antique store to look for some creepy stuff for the haunted house this year. And when they're there, the dad, like, sneaks to this, like, back room area, and he goes into this room that's labeled, like, employees only.
Yeah.
And he steals a record. That he thinks just looks kind of creepy and fun.
It's called like Halloween Horrors, and it has some language about like release the Symphony of the Dead or whatever. So he's like, oh, this is gonna be perfect. Yeah,
and so when they finally get to holding the haunted house, they're all in the makeup and everything like that, and he's got a line out. He has this one incredibly cranky neighbor who, as soon as you meet him and he starts talking, you clock him as he's the guy that they want to make you feel really okay with being killed when he gets killed, because he is just like cranky for no reason.
Yeah, the whole time he's just like, this dumbass Keith with his stupid fucking haunt bullshit looks like shit.
Yeah, and his wife, and he's got his wife there with him, and she's like, well, then why are we here? And he's like, because I want to tell him it looks like shit. And I'm like, okay, I mean, go off, I guess. But so he gets them all in, and they play the record, and lo and behold, the record is actually like some, it opens the gateways of hell, basically. It actually
does,
and so like
kind of
releases,
ritual.
It releases all these ghosts and spirits and stuff, and they like, it basically like teleports them kind of, and like makes the haunted house real. So like all of these characters and stuff they set up, like the ghosts are actually, they look like sheets with the black eyes like painted on them and stuff, but they like come down over the cranky dude, and then this like blender inside, and just like guts and blood start falling out from inside of it, like, and so people just start getting killed, and there's like
people get killed in crazy ways in that show.
It's pretty good. Like somebody gets their head split open by like an axe, somebody gets electrocuted in a chair. It's wild. It's I think the mom like dunks the witch that ends up attacking them into the cauldron that's in there, and like melting the witch in like this acid bath. It's crazy. Anyway, pretty good. The very ending of it is incredibly silly and a little stupid, but you're at the finish line now, so you're kind of just like, whatever.
And you're bought in, it's like, oh, it's what would happen if all your Halloween decorations came to life and started causing chaos, Yeah. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, no, overall, I thought it was fun. I think the very ending, when it like, I think it kind of like fully transitioned into like a CGI thing, is a little silly, but like, it's fine.
Also, one thing I want to say, they were not afraid to kill kids.
Oh no, it was really funny, because when the Diet Phantasma one, the part where the kid opens the can, I was like, I literally looked over at you and I said, what's the over under on them actually killing this kid? Because a lot of horror movies will walk right up to that line,
they don't want to kill
but they won't do it, or if they do, it's off screen.
Yeah.
Or like it's implied that they get like crushed by a thing or whatever. While they don't actually in that one show the kid exploding, they cut away and then the explosion happens or whatever. Later in the movie, definitely see a little girl get her head ripped off.
Yep.
And like, they don't care. They kill a lot of kids in this one, and it's kind of crazy, because it's like, you don't really see that a lot in horror movies, which is like wild that they actually did it. So I will give them like heavy props for like, it's not just like vague 20-somethings and up being murdered, and children are seemingly untouchable in this. So
us here at Love
cool.
at First Fright, we're a big fan of I can't even say it.
Don't finish that. Don't finish that. We're a big fan of, Fill in
the blank.
Yeah.
Let's talk about our ratings real quick. I have a feeling people probably have an idea based on what we've already said. I scored it higher than Curtis did. My overall score for the film was a 6.1. My lowest score was a 4 for performance. Overall, I think the acting in most of them was, what you might expect.
Yep.
And then my highest category was visuals, because I thought they did a lot of fun practical effects. There was cool like aesthetic choices in a lot of these. So even though it was different directors who had their own spin on it, in general, I did enjoy the visuals of this film.
Yeah. For me, my average rating was a 4.4.
Yeah, so big disparity.
It's kind of a big disparity on this one. And like, as always, take our ratings with a grain of salt, because like, movies, art, horror movies is no exception to this. Like, it's all subjective, right? Like subjective. Stuff that we might not find very scary, like when we did Krampus or
our
whatever.
Most controversial episode.
Yeah, honestly, it's like one of our most controversial ones. We didn't really think it was like that scary, that funny, whatever, and I'm not going to rehash all of that now, but like, a lot of people that told us to watch it, and the whole reason we did watch it was because they thought we would actually really enjoy it. Yeah. And I think if we went back and watched it, we might actually appreciate it a little bit more, because now we know what we're getting into with it. But all that to say, like, I rated this kind of low. I'm not a huge fan of the VHS film, so I don't know, unless we watch another one, and this is the one, after 8 hours now into this, that like, it's finally good. Like, I don't know if I'm ever gonna be rating them like super high. I don't know if they're movies for me, but I have heard so many people talk about how they really like the VHS movies.
Yeah.
And if you do, I'm really happy for you. Genuinely, I'm so happy you can get that out of them. don't invite me to that party. Or if you do, wait until we're watching virtually anything else.
Right.
After that.
Yeah.
Or like, I'll go do the snack run when that one's on.
No, I think Dream Date is VHS 2 and Skinamarink double feature.
Jesus.
And we only have flat soda to drink.
Oh, God. And burnt popcorn.
Burnt popcorn, yeah.
Oh. And for everyone else on the planet, except for me and my dad, almond joys.
Yeah, that's a great night right there. Yeah. That's fun. And maybe like somebody's ex is there.
Like really awkward. Yeah. Anyway, but to kind of go over, so my average was a 4.4. My highest was visuals. I put it at an 8.
That's what I put it at.
The lowest thing I gave it wasn't scares, was a 2. Nothing was really scary. Some of it maybe made my skin crawl a little bit because some of the effects were particularly gory and gross and everything. But I attribute that a little bit more to visuals than to scares. Entertainment was a 3 for me because I could go my entire life and never watch this again, and I'll be perfectly fine. The only one that again, if I got to make my own perfect little VHS right now, Fun Size is in there.
Fun Size is in it,
and that might be the only one right now because the other one's just. There's one in another one of them that we watched, and I truly hate this one, and I know you know which one I'm gonna say.
I already know.
There's one where there's like a funeral home, and the whole premises of this, like, somebody's died, and this woman has to stay late because like the people wanted it to be like an open visitation thing. Yeah. And so she's having to stay late there. And it's just like, it's so bad and dumb, and the whole framing of it is stupid. It's bad, and don't watch that one.
I don't remember which one that was in, so
I don't know which one that is. It's a minefield. It's not in VHS Halloween, I can tell you that. But but anyway, and yeah, performances were just like a straight 5 because it's like some of it was like okay, and then the worst of it was like pretty bad. Bad. But anyway.
Yeah, so that gives us a combined average of 5.3 for VHS Halloween. Yeah. Again, my favorite of the VHS movies so far. Yeah,
mine too.
So, you know, and I think that's saying something, considering how low your score was.
Absolutely. It's straight up, if you were like, you have to watch one of them again, it's gonna be this one. Yeah. Because the other ones I actively dislike. Yeah. The first one has so many sketches in it that I do not like, that I just never want to watch again.
Yeah. So now that we've sort of successfully compromised any possibility to work with Bloody Disgusting.
No, let me in there. Like, no, I'm not even saying like I mean, maybe I am saying this a little bit, that I would do that I could do a better job, but I'm saying like, let me put my money where my mouth is, or more specifically, let me put somebody else's money, because I don't have the money for I don't have the money for this, but give me a budget to work with and let me make one. And then I'll put that on one of the VHSs, and I'll let every other podcaster rip me to fucking shreds over this. And they'll be like, hey, the one he did...
real stinker.
Real bad.
Yep.
The worst one.
The one that you make is called Sunfies. And it's a spin-off.
It's Fun Size too. Yeah. It's literally just the same thing, like the same guy.
The same thing, but with
I don't even get an original idea. I do a sequel and an anthology. It's crazy.
Perfect. All right. Well, we should probably start wrapping it up here.
Yes.
I do want to let some people know that we have a couple of cool things coming up in the near future. So Curtis and I will be hosting a special Halloween-themed trivia night at Authentic Brewing Company in Athens, Georgia on Monday, October the 27th. Starts at 7 o'clock. And then we are also going to be doing a movie showing also at Authentic the next day. So both the 27th and 28th of October, you can come hang out with us at Authentic Brewing Company because we're going to be doing some cool, spooky activities there. And otherwise, you can find us on social media. We're at First Fright Pod on Instagram and X. We also have a Gmail account. You can send us an email with suggestions or feedback. It's firstfrightpod@gmail.com. You can visit our Facebook page, Love at First Fright. I think that's it. Right?
Yeah.
Those are all the places.
If you suggest that I watch another VHS movie, it better be the one where it gets good, or I'm never reviewing anything you send me again.
We should use this as an opportunity to crowdsource. Which is the one where it gets
Tell
good?
me which one gets good.
Just tell me which one to start with, and we'll give it one more try.
I keep saying I'm going to give it one more try.
I keep saying you're going to give it one more try.
I regret it every time. They can't keep getting away with it.
But they do.
They do. They keep making them.
They keep making them.
No, it's fine. Genuinely, it's fine. I think it's all in good fun that I say these things. They're not necessarily the most for me. I genuinely think it is great that there is this movie series. I don't know what like the overall budget on any of these are. I'm sure as they go on, the budget increases because of whatever, but it may be like a weird curve too. Like after a certain point, it actually decreases because they see less money coming back from it, whatever. But I do think genuinely it is a really cool thing to have this like place and outlet that like well-known people in the horror space and people who are just getting started in the horror space, both actors, directors, producers, whatever, people who are doing like visual effects and stuff too. I can imagine that this is actually a really cool space to be able to make things that you may not otherwise be able to get made. Right. You know, I also can appreciate that like not every horror thing needs to be an hour and a half or 2 hours long. Right. And that some of these are perfectly suited for 15 to 30 minute, 45 minute stories that are contained within that. And like, that's literally just enough time to tell the thing that you want to tell.
Yep.
I don't have to think they're all great or good or perfect. They should still get made. And I will watch all of them. You know, I'm not necessarily like all of them, and I'll let people know that I don't like all of them. But that's okay.
Yeah.
You know?
At the end of the day, we're just two people with a podcast. Yeah. And as we have learned, starting a podcast requires absolutely no qualifications.
Literally none. I didn't go to school for this. I've never made... Well, that's not true. I have made a couple of movies, but they were like high school things.
Yeah. I got nothing. I got no expertise. I just really like horror. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah.
You got anything else to add today?
We didn't say which was like our scariest moment.
Oh, okay. You got one?
Kid exploding.
That was the scariest moment.
Scariest and funniest. Scary. It was the scariest moment because that happened and I was like, is this one actually going to be good? Are they doing it? Are they really doing it?
Yeah.
The answer is no. But they got pretty close. They got as close as they could get.
Trying to think of what my scariest moment was. I will say I wasn't necessarily particularly scared watching any of these, but I'm also desensitized. I'm going to use this even though I think it was more kind of a like gross uncomfortable rather than scared.
Yeah.
But there is like they give some screen time in Utsupra Sick Infra to watching the character like physically take out the victim's eyes, and you see like that kind of resistance as it really like good. Tugs away, and you see the weird little like tail that's on the back of the eyeball and stuff. I thought it looked good. Like it actually looked pretty realistic as to what I could imagine that might look like. Yeah. And it was just like gross and horrible, and also like pretty shortly before that he throws up a bunch of eyeballs. That was terrible because earlier they had been like, and we didn't find any of their eyes. It's like, because they were in his little tummy.
They didn't X-ray him?
They didn't X-ray him.
Like that's a standard.
Yeah, you know.
Book him and then they gotta walk through an X-ray.
Read him his Miranda rights, walk him through an X-ray machine. But also I don't think they have Miranda rights. It was in Spain or something. Anyway.
Yeah, it was in Madrid. So
yeah.
Spain,
But I thought that was pretty effective.
No, I think that's actually that's actually a
in
fair
general,
one.
I really liked that short.
Yeah.
Like I liked Home Hunt and Fun Size the best because they were just like fun, campy, super Halloween-y.
Yes.
I think, and you know, you're more than welcome to disagree. I think that Utsupra Sick Infra. I keep having to like think about how to say it.
Sorry, we got a tree throwing acorns at our house.
I think that one, to me, was the most successful in terms of creating, like, a true horror story and experience.
Mhm.
Like, not something that I have to qualify as like, oh, but it's like campy and so bad it's good. Like, I
Mhm.
thought it was just good.
Yeah. See, that's the one that I think out of all of them, expand that one out. Like, I could actually see that one being a little bit longer, because I would actually like to get a little bit more.
Yeah, well, then you might be able to get more lore into what the significance of all
exactly.
that is.
And I actually think that one would work the best for that.
We love that director.
Yeah. So, you know, would watch if that one was a little bit longer. But anyway, the only other thing I wanted to say was, this is really exciting. I looked this up earlier because I'd been wondering about it. The Chainsaw Awards are happening this month in October.
Woo-hoo.
I think they're scheduled for like 9 p.m. on the 19th of October. We'll be watching when that happens. Josh Rubin is co-hosting it.
Love Josh Rubin.
Right? I was so excited. It's apparently the overarching theme of the of the awards, the decor and everything is supposed to be like space / sci-fi horror.
Okay.
So the promo images I've seen of it, he's in an astronaut's
Hell yeah
outfit. But yeah, so very excited about that. Apparently Sinners and The Substance are leading in nominees for like the top Chainsaw Award winners. They're both apparently tied right now with I think 10 nominations.
Fuck yeah.
So it's either one of their game.
Yeah.
Haven't seen The Substance yet. Did see Sinners. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
so.
The Substance just dropped on HBO Max.
Oh,
so
it's on the list.
I will be watching it.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it.
Yep, I think that's all we got for this one. As always, scare well, and see you next time.
Foot size! Foot size!
We didn't even talk about his little sidekick.
Well, you mentioned
I mentioned him.
He's small.
It's just so funny. That one should also be expanded. Like, get a full... This is what I'm saying. It needs to be like Art the Clown.
You spent a while being like, some horror just needs to be 15 minutes long, and then 3 out of the 5 of these you've been like, make it a movie.
No, just Super and Fun Size.
You also said Coochie Coochie Coo.
Oh, did I?
Yes.
Never mind, take that back. I don't want to see that anymore. No, but that one would need to be expanded and have like basically restructured, I think, entirely. The way that it is now, I don't want to see that.
Right.
The premise of creepy thing that gets people who are trick-or-treating when they're too old, fine. Like I might watch an extended version of that, but just not with like those two characters.
Right.
Or